Welcome to the Creative Play and Podcast Network. Join us as we review our favorite RPGs, collectible card games, MMOs, video games, PC games, and bring up interesting topics and things that we'd like to share with everyone. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hi, this is Kelly, aka Trixie from Ragnarok and Roll, a Scion to Ragnarok story, and Tilda Wimblewick from D&D Journey of the 5th Edition. First off, I would just like to say thank you to everyone for listening to our varied adventures, as well as for rating us on iTunes and rpgpodcast.com. If you haven't rated us yet, we would greatly appreciate it if you could. And if you're looking for more ways to support our efforts, we are now on Patreon, a great site where you can help us continue making more podcasts, as well as some special surprises for our patrons. If you can, please look us up at www.patreon.com/cppn. Every little bit helps. And again, thank you for listening.
So, in the lift.
So, while I'm beating up these guys, I'm shouting you, bridge or hangar bait, or avoid.
Which button do you push?
Is there one that actually just pushes out into space?
No, unfortunately the lift has safety precautions for that.
Damn. I liked that idea of going to the hangar and doing more destruction and getting things done.
So you're hitting the hangar bay button?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so you hit the hangar bay button, the lift doors close. In a split second, you guys feel a little 0G for a second there when it slams up and stops. And which one of you is going to take a turn with these stormtroopers pushed up against the wall with knives out? Everybody's kind of discombobulated. Everyone give me a coordination check. It's basically a coordination skill against 2 purple. Ooh, we got a fail with 2 advantage for 1 trooper.
Anyway,
Okay, so what did you...
so I actually got the same thing. I got a fail and an advantage.
Oh no.
And then
So you fail, but you have an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So
We're seeing a trend here.
So how many advantages did you get?
1.
Just 1? That's the same thing you got. That's the same thing one of the troopers got. So when the lift stops, you all literally come off the floor for a second. And all but 1 stormtrooper gets slammed to the floor when the lift stops.
Ow.
So you are all tangled up together on the floor, and there's 1 trooper, the one who's picking up his blaster rifle, who's like,
I was surprised we didn't land on him.
And which one? Well, the other one's like all arms and elbows with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So who's gonna go first? Since you're all tangled up on the floor with the trooper.
Well, since we're at point and blank melee range,
Yeah.
I could start stabbing the one who's trying to shoot me.
Yeah, because I just have a snap on for melee. So,
Well, you can still shoot melee. It's just you add an extra purple to it.
yeah. I can just do an unarmed thing and have fun with that, but...
I would say with your unarmed roll, I would rather shoot them than unarmed punch them.
Okay, cool.
Honestly, for your character.
Yeah.
So, here's what I recommend then. I'll fight the one who's standing up just because big melee,
Mm-hmm.
and then you shoot the one on the ground.
Okay, I can do that.
So the
Okay.
question is, who's going first?
Who's more of a threat?
One standing.
The 2 stormtroopers.
The 2 stores. Which one of them is more of a threat?
They're both a threat.
The one standing actually getting ready to shoot.
Yeah.
The one who's not taking 2 points of damage.
Yeah.
The one who doesn't have that small blaster hole in his uniform.
Yep, so I will take on the one who's standing getting ready to shoot.
Okay, so which weapon are you using, or are you using both?
So I got a question. What if I've got 2 things that are both melee? Is it still
You
the
could
same
use both.
thing?
Yeah, it would still add the extra purple. So you take the worst dice pool of the 2, which for melee is going to be the same, and then you go against 3 purple.
So I will do that because I'm going to be using the punch dagger, which is pierce 1, as well as unarmed, which has disorient and knockdown.
Okay, so you're going to go with the old dagger haymaker combo.
Pretty much.
Okay.
And then, so that's 3 die here. I don't want to use our light side points for this combat just yet, so let's see how I do. There's nothing. These cancel. So it looks like I had 2 success with 4 advantage.
Oh, so you
And I'm
remember,
gonna-
you'll need 2 advantage to use the other weapon. So what's the damage for the first weapon?
Mhm.
Remember, it's 2 advantage for the second weapon to hit. So the punch.
So you have 2 advantage to spend.
I almost critted. Oh well.
Oh.
So the first one, which is the primary one, which is the punch dagger, was 5.
5. So 5 plus 2 successes, so 7 points. Right?
Yep.
And
that
that's
was
Pierce 1. Okay. As your knife comes out with a hint of blood, just a dollop of blood on the armor.
And so that was for the second attack, which was the unarmed,
Mm-hmm.
which is 4 with disorient 1 and knockdown.
Okay, so 4, 5, 6, so 6 points. And you do have 2 advantage if you want to use the knockdown, because knockdown takes 2 points, or
Yeah.
disorient takes 2 advantage. So either one of those you could do with the 2 advantage you have left over.
What do they actually do?
Disorient means he'll have a black die for 1 turn, basically because he's stunned. Knockdown is you just knocked him on his ass.
I'll do knockdown.
Okay, so knockdown. So now he gets knocked over on the ground next to you because you're just like the horribleness of this elevator. The door's slowly going. Okay, so the troopers are going to do their thing. The one guy with the knife is going to do the whole from hell's heart I stab at thee, because that's what you try to do.
What's that from, anyway? What's that from?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's originally from Shakespeare, I think. But it's been used from Hell's Heart I Stab at Thee.
Yeah.
But it's been used by so many other things since then, too.
I mean, also, as much as we love Shakespeare, he did plagiarize stuff. So
Oh,
he probably
yeah.
got from somewhere else.
He plagiarized from his era, too. So the guy double hands the dagger and comes down with his combat knife and just misses you.
Yeah.
with one threat. So he's taking a point of damage in the form of damage.
Now what's the threat?
So when he's taking strain, which for him, his character is what they call a rival. It's almost equal to you guys, but they don't have strain. So anytime they do something that generates strain, it's another wound that they add on. So he's not as cool as a regular player character. The third category of character is a nemesis, which is equal to the whole group. Because nemesis suck because not only do they attack on their turn, but they get to do something at the end of the turn too.
Okay.
Which is how you make them Dark Overlord. You make them feel like they have the ability of not just being ganged up on by 5 people and killed in one shot. You get less of a Julius Caesar feel.
Yeah, that's nice.
But he swings that dagger, misses at you, and the other guy, he's just like, as you see the little hole you put in his armor, and he's going to point blank you with the rifle. He's willing to take that extra purple dice to just point blank you with the rifle.
Yes, because stabbing moves work so well.
Yeah, well, he's seen his buddy swinging that knife around like it's something, and it hasn't been jack.
I have a feeling it just got bad for me.
So I got 1 success, so it's going to be 12 points. Is in this cramped elevator, all of a sudden the card beam goes right into your torso.
Ooh, that actually hurt me.
That you actually felt that one.
Yeah, that did 5 points straight to me.
So as you just like smoking hole coming up, he just like shot right into the group of stuff, and he's gonna give.
I need that weapon for myself.
He's gonna give himself a blue dice on the next attack. He's like, I'm gonna kill this droid. I ain't gonna put up with this. I'm a Imperial Stormtrooper. Stormtrooper Corps.
Yeah, he says that. I bet he's just a regular trooper.
Yeah.
Based on the way he's been fighting.
And then it's your turn.
My turn. Well,
You're
I'm
on the
shooting
ground.
at the dude that wasn't. Where was he shooting?
Are you shooting the one on the ground? You shooting the one that just shot him really badly as you just saw a chunk of plate come off?
Which one has the gun on them?
That's the one
Ready
that's now
to shoot.
standing back up that he knocked down with a punch and a stab that's taken some wounds.
Okay, and the one that had just the knife that stabbed it.
That one's on the ground still.
That was on the ground still.
So the one you were thinking going after is the guy with the knife.
Mm-hmm.
But you all of a sudden realize the guy with the rifle just got real damn accurate with that rifle.
Yeah, I want to go after rifle dude.
Okay?
Okay, so.
She's like, we ain't having none of that.
I got a question. Is it possible to actually disarm him and take an opponent's weapon?
If you have 3 advantages, you can disarm him.
Let's find out.
If you have 6 advantage, you can disarm him and take a maneuver to arm yourself with it. Or attack first, use 3 advantage to disarm him, then your maneuver to pick up his weapon.
Which is possible in this close quarters.
Yeah.
Did I do that right?
So you're shooting him? Okay, yep, that's right. Ooh.
Okay. So one of these does nothing. So 3 success and
And an advantage.
an advantage.
Okay, so what's your weapon do?
6 damage.
6 damage, so 6, 7, 8, 9, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you shoot him in the guts with your blaster pistol, and it goes through, it hits home, but he is still holding on.
Damn train.
All of a sudden, you're finally seeing a true stormtrooper at its best. Trapped in a very small elevator with some angry fucking droids.
No, it's his armor saving him.
Now, did you want to take 2 strain and stand up, or you go with being in the pile of people on the floor? Okay.
It's a little scarier.
Okay, so top of the order. Who's
Okay,
going?
he had a chance to shoot his friend.
Who's gonna go first?
I want to disarm that bastard.
He wants that gun.
Okay.
Give him that gun.
It is possible. It's not gonna happen this round, I think, because you know what? I'm gonna use one of those.
Black guy.
Red.
Yep. So turn the purple red. So what attack are you doing?
I'm still going at him with my punch dagger.
So punch dagger, hacking at his kneecap.
Ow.
I don't know. I've been doing pretty good with that punch dagger.
Yeah.
That seems to be my weapon of choice.
I'm quite proud of that droid's build, you know.
Yeah.
I threw that one in as a lark weapon. I'm just like, I got 75 points to burn, credits to spend. He needs a dagger just in case.
Turns out that's true. Because that's the weapon I've killed most of the stuff with.
Yep.
Okay.
Ooh, that was with authority.
So, well, this is gonna be interesting. So this one here is canceled by that one and the one on here. So that means I got 2 successes and a threat.
Okay.
3 successes and a threat.
Okay, so for the threat, I'm going to go ahead and just give you a strain because you're basically playing around with the other guy because the guy's like grabbing your wrist as you're shaking into his kneecap. He's like, Don't stab Bill!
I'm getting fairly close to that codpiece.
So what is the damage for your dagger and how many successes was that again?
That was 3 successes
Okay,
with a damage of 5.
so 5, 6, 7, 8 with a pierce 1.
Yep.
So 4 more points. So he is in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. You stabbed and you're seeing like gouts of red coming down his leg where you just shanked him in a major artery because he's actually hurting now. That pierce is doing the most to him.
Yep.
The fact that they've got soak 5, pierce helps.
Yeah.
As you guys do know. Small arms fire and good armor don't go well together.
No.
Okay, so guy is not happy for being stabbed at you again.
Is he gonna try to shoot me
He's
again?
gonna try to shoot you again.
Hopefully he sucks at shooting this time. Should we turn that thing over to turn one of those into a red?
I'll give you a chance before I do it.
Yes, because
He's pissed. We're not giving him that chance.
He's not even aiming. He's just Train!
Oh.
what happened?
You gotta try.
So he failed with 2 fails. So he has a fail and a threat and a triumph.
Well, I wonder what happens with the triumph.
So just as he misses you and like shot goes straight, shoots you and he misses you and you're just like whoa as you see the smoking hole going through the lift. The doors to the lift finish opening up. And immediately you see about 8 Imperial Army guys. Those are the guys wearing the helmets with the gray uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
Standing around in a semicircle, pointing their blasters inside the lift because they apparently were hearing this noise coming up the lift with all this blaster fire.
Because they would have 2 human shields.
Right?
And you just hear this deep voice say, "Cease your hostilities or be deactivated, droids."
Why does that remind me of that scene out of the Clone Wars within the Jedi Temple?
Roger.
Oh yeah, because remember when the 4 Guardians come out and they say, cease hostilities?
So what are you doing? There's a chance you can save everyone's bacon.
Might be a
You
good
mean
time to
like-
hit the button.
The button. Yeah.
The button is available.
Hey,
Hit the button.
Or I guess we're gonna go to the bridge.
Okay.
Well, we
give
don't
me-
have to necessarily go to the bridge. We can go to the other part of the ship.
Where?
Well, we can go up, we can go down, we can just hit random buttons and see where it takes us.
Yeah.
We can go back up to the primary comms for all we know.
So where would you like to go?
Where would I like to go?
Yeah, where would you like to go? And then give me your coordination roll to see if you can hit that button before they all start lighting up that door. As all of a sudden the doors go and they start blasting the shit out of the door.
Well, we did our primary mission, which was the communications. And then the next one was to get as many fleshies out.
Which we kind of succeeded.
Well,
Yeah.
Did we?
Well, we can hit the button to go back to that secondary one and see if the guy's done yet. Just stick our heads in while we're fighting him saying, finished yet?
I trusted. We're good on that one. But wasn't you just said something about where?
Well, there's the bridge, and we could also hit like place because in that section of the ship that we're in, that's also where the med bays and some of the other more auxiliary systems are. That way, we don't have to necessarily go to the bridge where we know there are people.
Yeah.
But if you go to the bridge, you get free the captain.
Captain.
Yeah, but it's also where the big baddie is, and we're still wrestling with 2 stormtroopers.
Yeah, but he didn't tell me to go back for him. So.
Well, it's because he's going to go down with the ship. But
Yeah.
if you could rescue him, that might be like, you know.
That's not what he told me to do. Protocol.
Well, which button are you aiming for?
Where there's no people.
Okay, so you're going for deck 44 podunk storage.
Hey, I got an idea.
What?
Why don't we go to the sensor array up right below the bridge?
You can do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Because
Okay.
usually there is a
So
sensor.
give me a
thing.
coordination roll, but we're going to upgrade your one of you, it's going to be a purple and a red. Here, I can just give you that. I've cursed that red, it'll come plural.
Strangely enough, the red never really hurts us that much.
It hurts me a lot. Don't even.
That's why he's doing it to you instead of me.
Yeah. So. Oh, okay.
Ooh.
So. 2 advantage.
So 2 advantage. How would you like to spend that 2 advantage? If you would have had 3 advantage, I could have had you avoid something.
Can we add a black die?
Add a black die to the people that were going to shoot you in mass? Okay, I can accept that. So as you reach out to hit that button, you just slam, you're like, I want to go to the unoccupied comm bridge. Click, and you hit the button. You think. You don't know. Because all of a sudden, the air inside the lift lit up with blaster fire.
Oh, okay.
Is there a way for me to, in the last minute thing, throw the 1 stormtrooper in front of it?
You can do the whole push them up, but oddly enough, no one got hit by this volley fire. Mainly because the lift started moving, apparently, as the doors were closing. And
Oh, that'd be cool if I could get an agility thing to go off, throw them out there right as the thing's going up.
You hit the button, and the lift starts taking off and taking off and taking off. And at one point, when you're going through this section, the lift has a good view of outer space. And all of a sudden, your servos in your heart sink. Because you look and see life pods shooting off and jettisoning off to space.
Okay.
And of course, pods do the whole...
Wait a minute, I got an idea.
And then they start heading off in their own directions.
Okay.
And as soon as their engines start taking off, you immediately see the turbo lasers of the Razor start lighting up escape pods.
Yeah. That's sad.
As you just see, like, a pair of escape pods just explode to a beautiful star-spangled explosion.
All they hit is 2.
Out of the 18 that fired off.
Okay.
They still need to practice it.
Yeah.
Well, it's because there's only one guy in the bridge in the weapons seat using the weapons, so he's got limited capabilities.
Oh.
And just then you're like, shit, we didn't know they had access to the weapons. They must have beat the information out of the captain how to activate the weapons.
Here's the real question though is, can we shoot out glass while we're looking up?
You probably don't want to in the lift.
Why not?
Because you might explosively evacuate yourself, but you can try. I mean...
We could maglock ourselves down first. Because most droids, that's usually a standard issue thing.
And just as you're thinking of along that line, because I do like that line of thought, the lift stops and the doors shh.
Okay.
And immediately you're seeing skyline of stars.
Okay.
And immediately you're realizing through the view glass that you're looking, you're realizing where you are.
On top of the ship.
You're in the bridge.
I don't want to be. Okay.
She missed it by one floor. As you realize you're in the bridge, and when you look around, you notice that there are people in Imperial uniforms sitting in the little recessed seats in the bridge.
Yeah.
Is it just weird that this wrestling match would get broadcasted to the whole ship?
Yeah.
Picture the bridge.
That looks like a lot from Star Trek.
As you guys are here,
Okay.
you notice, I'm going to steal a couple of side points here, that we have Imperial officer, Imperial tech guy, and these techs, they look a lot, really familiar to like the opponent techs you guys murdered en masse.
Problem is, we're still wrestling with 2 stormtroopers.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big problem.
We have Stormtrooper there, and Stormtrooper there. And your command, the captain, is tied to that chair right there. We're going to put right there since, actually we'll go right there since we'll move around. And the lift just opens and like all 4 of you kind of like look at it once like,
Shit.
we still have one more round of this fight going on.
Mm-hmm.
So who's going first?
I want to kill this guy
Yeah.
shooting me. He shot at me too many times and too much crap's gone wrong. I'm killing this bastard.
Okay. The one that's on his feet getting ready to shoot you again.
Yes.
He's like, oh,
I didn't get on his feet. Oh, where's that? He's been on his feet.
yeah, you knocked him down once and he got right back up. That's what, the other guy's not been bothering with that.
Oh, the other guy's been sitting on top of him.
He's like, I've got too many black dice to do action. Get off my face.
Oh, those aren't dice. Those are my turbos. Not bad, actually. So this cancels out these 2. I have a lot of good, actually. So 3 successes and 2 advantage.
Oh. So how would you like to use your advantage? Because I will tell you right now, as you bring your dagger up, you go right under the belly armor, and you just bring a line of red on the black under armor bodysuit.
So I'm assuming he's dead.
As he hits his knees hit on top of the deck, and you just hear a splurting sound come out of his midsection. Yes, you disembowel him pretty much.
I love it.
And the other guy is getting a face full of disembowelment on him. So how would you like to spend those 2 advantage? And remember, you can break them up to 2 single advantage too.
Yeah, no. So, since I already do have a maneuver that I have used,
Yes, you haven't used, yep.
I'm going to spend my 2 to give me an extra maneuver to grab his rifle.
Okay, so you're just basically waiting for him to deliver the gun to you.
Yes.
Okay, so as he falls and just... literally, the rifle is handed to you as he dies in front of you.
Yep, and I'm going to ready it to fight.
Okay, so the weapon's ready. You're just like... cycle it just to cycle it because the Imperial programming kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so... Stormtrooper underneath you. He's like, you son of a bitch! And he's going to take the knife at you.
Again?
He's like,
determined.
this knife's going to get you!
Eventually, maybe.
I was hoping for triumph. So, we have 4 successes.
That might actually be enough.
So, that's going to be 9 points of damage. With Pierce of 1.
Oh, so I'm taking 3.
So you take 3 points of damage. He actually takes the dagger in that blaster hole in your chest and sticks it inside you, bypassing your armor. That's how I got you!
Well, I just thought of a way to kind of salvage the situation on the next turn.
Okay. And for his maneuver, he's gonna take 2 strain, which is 2 wounds for him. And he's gonna pull himself straight and kind of stagger out of the lift. So he's kind of staggered outside the lift with his combat knife ready. And
Oh,
it's-
he's dropped his gun. You have a chance
he
to get
has
it.
dropped his blaster rifle.
Fine.
And would you like to hear what the stats are for a blaster rifle?
Yes.
The light repeating blaster with sling, so you can sling it if you ever want to. It has ranged, it's a ranged heavy weapon, so it's using your ranged heavy skill, so that might be different than your ranged light.
Not for me.
For one of you, I know you have both the same for ranged heavy and ranged light.
Not for me.
It's damage 11, crit 3, range is long, so pretty much you can shoot anything that you can see in the ship. It has auto fire. By the way, auto fire works like paired weapons. You add an extra purple, and for every 2 advantage, you can hit another target. But you won't, before you roll, you want to say, am I spraying the room or am I shooting all into one guy? So that way you can get lucky and say you get 3 hits on one guy. And has cumbersome 4. So if your brawn is not 4, you're going to be taking black dice because it's a heavy rifle.
I'm fine.
So like our protocol droid, if she were to pick it up, she would have 2 black dice because it's a big heavy rifle.
Okay.
Because you're just not that strong.
So
not
I
really.
put.
I just realized something. I forgot my pistol back on the communications bridge.
Yeah, and it has Pierce 1, by the way.
Oh, good.
Which is why when he hit you, it hurt.
Yeah. Well, it would have hurt even without the Pierce one.
Yeah.
So what's the dicey?
It's ranged heavy. So look over here at your ranged light. Do you have a difference between ranged light and ranged heavy?
No.
It happens to be the same. It's almost like these weapons were meant to get in your hands at one point.
Yeah. Same with me. The only difference is I've got the better brawn, which means I don't get the negatives.
You don't worry about the cumbersome. Yep. So basically, are you on your turn picking up that giant rifle? Are you picking up the guy's rifle?
But I have to
Oh,
add 2
here's a real
black to it,
question.
right?
Did these guys have any grenades strapped to their belts?
They each actually do carry 2 frag grenades in their little compartment. You would have to dig into them to get them though.
Mm.
That actually might be something better for you to get because I've already got 1 grenade frag.
So you're just like,
Well, if I have the time, do I have to add the 2 black dice? Or?
yes, the 2 black dice for the cumbersome because the weapon's like, it's a Terminator weapon and you're just not that strong.
Oh, not that strong. But
This
I
guy's
grab it.
servos are like, I was literally built to carry this.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Light repeater is not right in the range. Light repeater, if I remember correctly, is not quite in the range of a cannon, but it's one of the longer barrel versions. of
Yeah.
guns.
It's the one that you see the snow troopers carrying that they drop and they 3-man crew it.
Oh, okay.
That's what this is?
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
Alright.
Wait a second, these guys were carrying those in a lift?
These were 2 sergeants. Yeah, they were coming to mow the room down.
Nice.
Damn, I did not. I thought this was the.
No, this
long
isn't
rifle.
EU11. So
No, I thought this was the longer version of that one.
oh
Big
no,
rifle.
no. These were the repeating carbines.
Well, repeater cannon.
Yeah.
Am I
Likely.
strong enough to strap it to my back for later?
It's got a sling, so yes, you can. The sling
Okay.
reduces the encumbrance by 2, which is
I'm
the whole point of the
gonna
sling.
keep it if I can get it.
For people who play later on and get big guns, there's actually a alien-style weapon harness that you click it into, and it basically is like an aliens when they have the big guns on the swivel. So you can carry, and there's a class called the Gunner that literally uses vehicle guns as his portable weapon. It's like when the old Clone Wars cartoon when the guy comes out with the Vulcan cannon. And of course they do stupid things like if they shoot auto fire weapons, they get extra damage automatically just because they're meant to volley fire shit. So what you doing? Grenades, lifts, gun, just coming out and shooting somebody?
Doing a memory dump and praying for the end.
Download yourself into the ship.
So, Stormtrooper, everyone else is facing.
Everyone is facing the bridge. They're all looking at these life pods going, hee hee hee, stupid rebels! Click! And you see another life pod explode.
Nice.
And then, of course, there's the one stormtrooper just kind of stumbled out.
And the guy's like, gonna shank you!
And you have the weapon.
Yeah, I have the
And he realizes, oh god, I'm on my knees and I'm going to die here.
So,
We're talking about me or the
The
stormtrooper.
stormtrooper.
is this gun too big for him to tote?
No, he seems to have
I'm
no
fine.
problem with this. This gun was literally, as an Imperial War battle droid, he was made for this gun.
Okay, so I.
You can wield it, but it's just two black are not that scary. Don't be afraid of two
No,
black.
no, no. What I'm thinking is I can grab it, use it, and throw it to him.
He's already got his own. There's
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
There's another one on the
That's why I
floor.
asked two
He can only
fully.
carry one.
You can only carry one. Damn it.
These are not. This isn't Eraser where Arnold can carry two rail guns and go.
Sad. Okay.
Strangely enough, though, the T600s actually were built designed to do that, though.
Oh.
Yeah, but
Oh no! Have you seen the movie Eraser?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where Arnold does that with the. I'm going to
Yep.
put slings on and shoot these rail cannons.
Yeah. Strangely enough, though, those weapons were actually like in real life. The kick would be enough to knock him on his ass.
Yeah, it's a rail gun.
So I want to grab this blaster.
You grab the repeating carbine.
And
Okay.
will it be easier for me to wield if I take a knee and then aim, or is it just going to be too?
You
for
can
me?
just shoot it either way. There's an ability that lets you brace, but you don't have that.
Don't have to do that. Okay.
Unless you do. Do you
I don't
check
know.
your tactile tree?
Where?
That talent tree on page 3 or 4, the one right there.
This thing?
Do you have anything that's called brace or anything like that?
This
I
one?
think the other guy might.
Oh.
Do you?
Oh,
No.
I just realized something. I forgot to look at my skill tree here.
I did
So I
have
think some of it's
bodyguard.
already applied, like the +2 wound threshold.
Yeah, that's all been applied already. For the grit and the tough.
And then there's add 1 rank to physical training, to athletics, and to resilience checks. I think I've already done that.
Yeah.
And then, but then point blank is the one that I missed.
Oh, yeah, point blank would not have been added in there.
Add 1 damage per rank to point blank to damage of 1 hit successful ranged, heavy, or light attacks made while short ranged or engaged.
You're all about shooting people in the belly.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that until just now. I could have been doing more damage.
Yeah.
Nice to know.
So what are you gonna do?
Especially now that I've got a cannon.
So there's different trains of thoughts here. I'll throw it out there. Remember what you guys suggested on the lift about shooting the glass out? You could always shoot the observation glass out.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily have to save the
You-
captain. unless
you
it's captain
could-
share.
Auto fire those 2 stormtroopers and see if you can gun them down.
I'd say shoot out the glass.
I said, yeah.
You could shoot your captain to make sure he doesn't get captured.
Well, but shoot out the glass, same thing, because he's going into the void.
Are you gonna shoot out the glass?
What's the main goal of the?
Of being on the bridge at this stage, saving the captain is secondary. Primary is to keep them from shooting the escape pods.
Well, the primary was to make sure the Imperials do not get the secret of the rebels off the ship.
And we did that.
Did you? You still have hangars full of ships they can run off with. It only takes one Imperial getting on a life pod and getting away with the information.
Here's, if I remember my starship design correctly. So first things first, we shoot out the glass, which gets rid of the captain. His secrets die with him, so sad. And hopefully we've maglocked our boots at this stage. All of the override controls for the exterior hangar bay doors will be on board the bridge.
Everything goes through the bridge.
So that means all the controls we need to pretty much shut down Imperial movements on the ship will give us straight access to where we need to go to do the final thing, which I'm guessing is blow up the ship. We can set all that up from up here. We just have to get rid of everybody on the bridge first.
Which, shooting out the glass would do that.
Yeah.
From a tactical point of view,
Yeah.
it will not harm either of you, and it will evacuate the lungs of everyone up here, the good and the bad.
And the stormtroopers, if I remember correctly, the the current armor types that they're using,
They've got no air supply.
Yep. It's not like the clone troopers, but that was an automatic feature.
Yeah, where they're supposed to survive in space.
So yeah, with the clone troopers, I think that was sort of the drawbacks, is they had some better stuff than the stormtroopers did.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Stormtroopers just had better in general, but they lack some of the specialized stations that allow for extreme survival.
Yeah.
So we don't want them to get to the rebel base.
So shoot the glass.
It's just use my captain.
Use your captain.
I'm supposed to.
You're making this a moral decision.
And as you look, the captain sees you as you pick up this rifle, and he gives you this very sad, resigned nod, yes. As you just see, he's like gagged, and he's got blood coming down one eye, blood coming out of his gag where he's been beaten, and he just nods yes.
Okay.
And I say do it.
If that makes you feel better, he looks at you and he's like, yes. He knows you. You're a droid.
Yeah.
You're programmed almost just like him. He's like, do it.
Yeah,
And
no,
I'm
that's
going-
what I want to do.
And I'm going to assume, just out of common sense, because I can probably figure this out tactically, because warfare is my specialty,
Yeah,
that I'm going to just automatically maglock myself to the floor at this stage.
because tactically speaking, if you make this shot, you could take them all out in one shot. And you guys can still walk over to the control panels and pilot the ship.
And you'll be the most legendary of all of the protocol droids.
So
You took a bridge with a single shot. Actually, that would be a pretty
Yeah.
cool story.
And it's going. What's the 2 black for?
Well, you said you
For easy.
Oh yeah, because you're using the big gun. Okay. And
Big
it's
yellow
going to be
top.
against 2 purple and another black, because this glass is not supposed to break.
Well,
That's a
I got a
lot
question.
against me.
We might be able to pull this off with a grenade, though, if you can pull one from their pockets.
Have faith. Don't be afraid of blacks.
Don't be afraid of.
The black dice aren't that scary. Give it a shot. Give it a shot.
Here's the thing, though. We're in a pressure, so here's where I'm going to go against using this rifle, just because I'm kind of worried with all that black.
Yeah,
Pressurized deck.
yeah,
Window.
yeah,
The minute there's a single small hole, the whole thing's going to come out.
yeah.
Don't need a big cannon to do it. I'd say either grenade, which will compromise integrity, or pistol.
And are you going to shoot auto fire or just a single shot?
Can I use my one?
You can use your gun, yeah.
So it's still the same dice.
Yeah, same
Yes.
dice. Yep.
Less black.
Just less weapons, less damage. Yep. You got all the blocks. Oh no, you need 1 black. So yep, that's it. Okay, so you pick up the gun and like drop it, and immediately like look at your captain. You're looking at his eyes, and he's like, "Yes, do it."
It looks like you did it.
No, it doesn't.
So that's
2 failure, 1 failure.
1 failure.
1 failure and 1 advantage. What would you like to do with the advantage? Give the next one of you guys a blue dice.
Yeah.
As you look at your captain, and you're just like, pew! And your blaster just like warms up a piece of the glass at one of the cross pieces. It's reinforced. All of a sudden, everyone gasps, looks at the wall, and everyone looks back where that blaster bolt came from the lift. And you're basically, stormtroopers are like, oh shit, taking cover behind the counter there. They're dropping to like a crouch so that only their blasters are sticking up. The stormtrooper on the ground with the knife, he screams, "Line 'em up!"
Sad.
The captain looks at you and he makes this resigned look like he's willing to die to save the ship because he's seeing his people
Yeah.
blow up in life pods. And
Yeah.
you see tears blending in with the blood on his face. And he's starting to get up out of his chair because he's tied up, but
Yeah.
he's not tied to the chair. So he's getting up to the chair to like do something stupid, you realize.
Yeah.
Probably not very effective since he's bindered and gagged.
Perfectly fine. Use a distraction.
Yeah.
I see he's trying to get to your sympathetic nose of your protocol droid's brain. Something I completely lack.
The Imperial commander swivels his chair and looks at you guys and he says, "Destroy those droids!"
It's kind of easy considering that I've got holes in me.
Same.
And all of a sudden, all the techs are like just doing their thing, trying to avoid what's going on and not get shot. They kind of crouch down more.
What's your health at?
8.
No.
No, wait.
Yeah, you're just-
7.
Oh, me and you have the same health.
So, who's going top of the order here?
Well, since I've got the cannon, and I'd still like to shoot out the window before I get shot.
Okay. Are you
So-
shooting on auto fire?
What does that
It
do?
would just add a purple, and if you get advantages, you can shoot multiple spots.
No, thank you. I just want to get this window
Okay.
out with. So that means I only get 1 purple.
No, actually, it's 2 purple for the window.
Advantage, that's
And it's a black die also because the window's meant to not be broken. It's got defects.
Just give it to me, damn it.
As all of a sudden, everyone's
I had 1 advantage, right?
uh-huh.
You have a blue.
She was giving you a blue. I almost forgot about that. An effective blue.
Strangely enough, I think I actually did succeed though, because these two nullify each other. This nullifies that. This nullifies that. I got a success.
Yeah!
As all of a sudden in slow motion, and they're like, no. You're just like, closest thing your droid face can do to a smirk, and you, and it's like slow motion. You pull that trigger, you see the energy chamber light up, and slow motion beam goes flying through the room. And how many successes?
One.
Your blaster bolt hits the window, and all of a sudden you see a small fracture of a crack that slowly, as all of a sudden everyone's eyes follow the blast, and it's like double replay, as it hits the glass, and all of a sudden the crack like seems to almost vibrate bigger. As all of a sudden you sense, because you both clamped your feet down after her first shot.
Yep.
There's a pulling sensation for a second there. And then all of a sudden, instantly, the window shatters and explodes out into space. Horribly. Oh, God. Purple.
Purple.
Okay, I just need one. The deck crew, the Imperials, go flying out, slapping body parts, hit count consoles on the way out.
What happened to the captain?
Oh my God! The captain grabs onto his chair because he rolled a despair. He succeeded, but he rolled a despair. As he looks at you with these big, huge, bugging eyes, because the atmosphere started to suck his eyeballs out, and he's like, "You droids!" And the chair gets ripped off its mounting and goes flying off into space.
I could not have asked for a funnier ending.
As the captain, who got up and was actually running to tackle
Christ.
the guy, he was basically going to like throw his body on them to buy you guys time to do what you're doing. He looks at you with his hands bound and gives you this almost angelic look of peace. And you can almost read from his mouth through the gag of, "Save the crew.
Well, we just did it.
Stop the Imperials.
Yeah.
You're a good droid."
Oh my God.
As he gets sucked out into space. And the stormtrooper that has his knife out, he just looks as you see him like scuttling across the floor as he gets sucked out. And of course he hits the other two stormtroopers and they go flopping out with him. As you guys are standing there, as like the dead trooper kind of goes flying by with entrails trailing him. His entrails are following trails. As you guys look, and they all instantly start to solidify in the cold death of space. And you guys, are you coming out to the consoles?
Yep.
Okay, you can clearly see that they've taken almost all of your staff and put them in the barracks. It's the middle container. Almost all of the crew that were captured were put in the middle cargo container, which you can jettison if you like. It does have its own life support just in case.
Okay.
Or you can keep it attached. Or you can just hit the button and seal it.
So, here's the real question is, are there cameras displaying other sections of the ship?
Oh, yeah, you have full tactical access to the ship.
So, how many people are in each of the two hangars?
There's a fairly decent amount. You can see that there are rebels locked up in each place, but in each place that they're locked up, it's in a secure airlock room. So if someone was to, I'm assuming this is your train of thought, turn off the environmental force field and space the airlock, it would not hurt the rebel troops that are locked down in there. You can clearly see that they're in sealed rooms. You can easily just hit a button, seal the room, hit another button, evacuate the hangar.
Okay, yeah. Because my train of thought is if we can get them to the hangars where ships are still there, two options is, which I actually didn't really think of. But the other option was to use any automated turrets for defense to take out whoever was in there. So, but here's my fishing.
So which option are you choosing? Tactical bot.
Tactical
It will
bot?
require a computer roll.
Oh.
And this is
Mine's
where
only a 2.
3. From what you said, Captain wants us to save the fleshies.
Okay.
So
Who started calling them fleshies? I just call them target practice.
Fleshies.
I call them fleshies.
Meat bags.
Meat bags.
I call them walking targets.
So I want to do.
Oh, now I know where that's from. That's from Casper.
What? Flesh bags? Oh, fleshies. See, meat bag is from HK-47.
Yes. Alright.
The best droid ever.
I like the whole protecty and then screw together things.
Good.
Okay, so
Well,
so what are you going to do first? Lock down the cargo, or are you
Yeah.
going to vent the hangars?
Lock down cargo.
Okay.
And then hangers.
Okay, so go ahead and give me a computer roll against 3 purple. And you know what? I'm going to upgrade that to a red and 2 purple. Just don't roll despair. Just don't roll despair.
Oh look, I'm gonna roll despair.
No, you're not. Don't despair the despair.
So
Ooh.
let's get right.
She did get 3 threat at least. 'Cause 3 threat would have locked down the computers, which would have made the whole thing.
Got a single thread.
No.
I'm like, why are you adding an extra red to your rolls?
Yeah, this is
So it looks like
single threat.
So a single threat. So you're sure you locked down all the passengers. All your crew is safe,
Okay.
and you take a point of strain when you're doing it because you're just like, I'm not built for interfacing with computers. Okay, so what are you doing in the meantime? Well, she's locking down all the crew to keep them safe.
You know what? Since she's better with the computers, I don't touch anything on the computers. Is the Imperial ship nearby?
No, the Imperial ship is in the hangar.
Oh, that makes it easy for me. So that just means I'm gonna look up on how to override the engines. Not do it. Look it up.
Okay, so give me a computer roll against 2 purple. It's just an average roll to see if you can access their computer.
Yeah, because I'm not too smart. I don't want to do anything that's gonna blow us up prematurely.
I don't know.
Or
We
actually-
tried very hard to be blown.
Actually, I got a better idea. Where's the nearest armory? It was actually something better to look up.
It's a couple. You don't need to roll for that. It's basically a couple decks down and off to the side.
So
You could remote control unlock the armory.
Because that might be something we need to do, but I just realized something. I'm about halfway close to death, so I'm actually going to make some repairs on myself.
Yeah.
Actually, if that's what you want to do, there is the emergency repair kits. Basically, it's the ship equivalent to a stim pack that you basically slap it and it just and starts fixing the machine. So the machine equivalent is a repair kit that you can go grab, slap on yourself, and start patching and rerouting your subroutines.
So yeah, so I'm going to look up on the bridge to see how many I can find that way, if I can find where they land.
There's 2 of them as well as 2 first aid kits that have stim packs. So you can basically have 2 repair kits. You can just slap one on yourself to heal 5 wounds back.
Slap one on or both on?
You can slap both on. The second one will only give you 4, so you get 9 total.
Yeah, I'll use one and you can use the other one.
Okay.
Because the thing is, with repair kits and stim packs, it's diminishing returns. So like the first stim pack is 5, then 4,
can't
then
use
3.
stem, so
Yeah.
a point. So how much am I getting back for the first one?
So 5 for the first one.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you did your hacking. You believe everyone is locked down nice and secure. What's the next thing you're going to do?
I guess the pack.
Well, here's the thing though. You can continue with the
You
computer.
can have him slap it on.
Yeah,
Yours will
I'll
work.
slap it on for you, so you can continue to vent the Imperials.
Yeah, vent.
Okay.
Make sure to capture it on camera.
So it's going to be it's 3 purple.
Oh, that'd be funny. You'd be the one surviving stormtrooper saying, "How did you get
Did
this?"
you want to touch your light point? I'm not going to touch it. Turn one of those green yellow.
You saw the look, didn't you?
Do you want to say something like you're going to use the captain's personal access code to give yourself a blue?
Yeah.
I'll let you.
I'm gonna use the personal access.
Okay.
Happy? Okay. Yeah.
Heroically, the captain will have saved everyone.
Good.
Or did he? Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
It looks like I have 1, 2,
1 threat and 2 success.
3 success.
Yeah, 3 success.
Yeah.
So for the threat, another point of strain is you are typing faster than you have ever typed before with these awkward protocol fingers that are not made to do this. And you look in the view screen of the camera, and all of a sudden it goes from Imperials walking around doing their thing to Imperials grabbing onto cargo containers as their feet are flying out, and you just see them like choked to death and then let their frozen bodies disappear to space.
Oh, that's such a lovely scene.
And thankfully, the best part is you've now realized that all the turbo cannons have stopped firing.
Yay!
Because basically the gunners are the two people over here.
Yeah.
And
They're gone.
the pods that are still out there, you're seeing a few pods escaping off into different directions. With your frozen captain floating by. And as you see that the Imperials are gone off the... And you're seeing the rebels are just like looking at the camera, screaming, jumping up behind you like, let us out! Let us out!
We have to re-secure the guys.
Well, remember, there's also another hangar, too.
There's another hangar.
There's the aft hangar.
Here's a question. Well, hopefully that one was vented too.
Well, no, she was only able to vent one at a time.
One at a time.
So which one did you vent?
The one that
The
wasn't
forward?
that.
So,
The one that has all the X-Wings in it.
so since I still have since I can apparently still look at the cameras, are the ships still in place?
The ship is still in place.
Good. Lock down the other hangar, trap the Imperials in there, send the others to the X-Wings. Hopefully some of them can pilot them.
You talking about the rebels?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you turn the force field back on?
Yeah.
And you can just hit a button to unlock their door. And you see the door open and they're like fighting and working at the bindings and trying to get them loose.
Yeah.
It takes them a few minutes, but they get loose and they like go out and you see them like kicking the dead Imperials and they all pounce on the two Astromech droids that are there and they just literally are with tools that they're picking up, beating these two Imperial Astromech droids to death. And they're like waving at the camera. Do you say anything through the camera? It's got microphones. You can speak.
Get to the hangar.
Well, these are the guys in the hangar.
These guys. I don't know what you guys want me to do. What?
You're in charge.
I'm in charge.
Captain put you in charge.
He
Tell
did.
them to get to their fighters and to proceed to the rebel base to warn them of the impending Imperial attack.
Sure.
Good, I tell you, you make it sound
Yeah.
enthusiastic.
So you say that, and like 18 of the pilots peel off and jump on their X-wings and Y-wings and go ripping off and taking off. But you realize there's still a lot of crew there.
Ask how many of them are engineers.
Did you say that?
Sure.
Okay. Like all of them wave their hands.
Oh,
So I get an idea.
yeah.
So here's what it is. So I'm assuming that we can probably secure and vent the one hangar where we know they're still at.
Yeah.
So we can then have it to where those who are experienced with engine mechanics can meet us into the engine room since we're well, I don't know if we can really recover the ship at this stage.
At this point, you probably can.
Oh, so never mind. We actually probably could take the ship and fly it since all we have to do is just get rid of the rest of the Imperials that are on board.
You
Yeah.
pull up the camera and you see a group of Imperials that are basically getting all hubbity-dubbity because they've got Astromechs working on your engines. And one of the guys is yelling for the Astromechs to keep doing the job, and you see on the camera, he pulls a data spike out of the computer, and he's running to the turbolift. So, and you see in the engineering room,
So since it seems like this is going to warfare level now, so I'm thinking we've already got the X-Wing pilots gone who are off doing the warning. We have a chance to take back the ship, but let's not assume that we can just yet. So here's what I'm thinking. We unlock the armories, have the remaining people go to the armories, grab weapons. We meet them to do a final assault on engineering, as well as send one group to help to hold the other hangar. That way, if one of them tries to escape, we can keep them from escaping.
Sure.
Or we can all go to the hangar and then work our way up to the engine block.
All of the above sounds fun.
Okay, so screen swipe, as Star Wars is known for.
Yeah.
And it says you guys make this plan in the vacuum of space. As you guys basically get into the turbo lift, and are you heading together or are you splitting up?
So let's head together because we'll meet everybody sort of in like the same general section, which will be about here.
Okay.
In which case they'll be better armed. You'll be repaired because as we're doing this, I'm slapping the repair kit to you.
Yeah.
And then we'll proceed to the hangar once we meet up with the engineers. So that way we can secure the hangar and keep the Imperials from leaving.
Yeah.
While we're doing that, we can also lock down other sections of the ship and you can have the key codes to unlock the sections as we approach them.
Sure.
So you guys get to the midway section, which is like a half-mile drive. So you get to that midsection, you jump on the little hover vehicles, and you guys are driving. You realize that engineers have hooked up with you, people grabbed weapons. Every time he's got a door opening for security, they're running and grabbing rifles. You've got the guys trapped in the barracks that you unlock the door so they can basically follow you. There's a small army of rebels following you down the game plan because you guys are in the little two-man golf cart scooter thing. As you guys basically get to the hangar, you realize that when you saw on the cameras the Imperial guy pulling out the data stick, you see in the hangar, because it's got the double airlock just in case the field did go down, that there's a guy putting on an environmental suit, and he's basically going out there, even though it's not vented yet. He was prepared for it to be vented, because basically the engineering droids colluded on what was going on in there. It was horrible. He's like, I'm the only breathing Imperial left. Droids, keep doing what you need to do to blow up the ship if we can't take it. And he's running towards a ship that's there. He's going to try to see if he can steal a ship.
So
Just as you guys get there ahead of your army that's following you.
I'm healed though, right? All the way?
no.
You would have 5 points back. So if you were down,
By
how
five.
much?
7,
Then
8,
you're full.
9, 10. Yep. So,
Just making sure before we get in this
so since I see him, I'm gonna try and get as close as I can and shoot him.
Okay, you basically immediately go through the double doors real quick because they're not locked. He basically didn't have time to think about that. He's just putting on spacesuit and fucking running. He is running for, it looks like a Y-wing trainer. It's a 2-seater Y-wing that he is running to get to. As you can step through easily as the double doors open up. Got your honky rifle. Big honking rifle.
And so
It's going to be at medium range, which is not a problem for that weapon.
is that 1 die?
It's 2 dice.
Nice. Okay then.
Dun, dun,
So,
dun.
the real question, so I'd like to aim to cripple.
Okay.
Cripple him if possible. Kill if I can.
Okay.
Cripple if possible. Kill if I can.
That means that sounds like you want a good crit, a good crippling crit.
Yep.
And are you aiming? You take that 2 strain to aim. You know you wanna. Somewhere along the lines, years later, this character will still have this rifle, but with cool, true aim targeting scope. The laser sight beaming down.
And I wear my scars with pride.
Just use the big tack fill.
Hopefully I can still get my pistol back at the end of this. Because I got all that crap I need to get repaired. Well, these actually nullify each other. This gets nullified by one of those, so I have 2 successes and two advantage.
So what would you like to do with the 2 advantage? I don't think that weapon crits on 2, does it?
No, crits on 3.
Crits on 3.
So,
And what's your damage going to be? What, 13?
regular damage is 11 plus the 2 successes, so yeah, 13. And is he still alive?
He is still alive, yeah.
So I'm gonna add a black die to his next check.
Okay. So his black die to his next action.
Okay.
Okay, as you just like right in the small of his back, you know, you see smoke coming off his space, so you see still da 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 da. I gotta get the hell out of here! And he's basically going to run and try to climb with his not the greatest athletic skill. And he's in a spacesuit, so it's a little worse.
Don't forget the black die.
Oh yeah, the other black die. I was already giving him 1 because he's climbing in a spacesuit. Believe it or not.
Did he succeed?
He succeeds, but with 3 threat. So he climbs to the very top of the ladder. And you see him like fumbling, trying to open the cockpit. And his glove's just flopping because he's not all the way in the glove properly. And he is unable to open the freaking cockpit to get in this thing. And he's like looking back at you in total panic as he's trying to get in there. So what you gonna do?
Well, we're killing the guy, right?
At this stage.
Huh?
Doesn't matter if we take him alive or dead.
What you gonna do?
Shoot him.
Okay.
With what?
I have my.
You have the big honking rifle on your
I also have
shoulder.
a
You have your
blaster
pistol. If it's your pistol, you'll need to get close because he's at medium range to you in the hangar.
Medium.
Oh, never mind. Never mind then. You could just light up and shoot him.
Right.
Yep. Now are you wanting to aim?
It's just straight up 2, right?
Nope, not if he's not moving. You just, because he opened the doors for you, so you're just like, go chase him down, I'll shoot him, buddy. You want a good roll.
Where'd that green go?
Looks like you actually did do good.
Okay, so
So basically,
2
But did she do good enough?
and do 2. I got
she got one
that's just
success.
1 success.
One success. What's the damage of your weapon?
6.
6? Believe it or not.
Oh yeah, did you include the pierce one when I shot him?
No, I didn't. Okay. You, oddly enough, you did 1 point too much.
Yeah!
As she lines up, because he was down to only 2 points left, 1 apparently with the pierce 1, as her shot rings out over your shoulder, as you just like blast his back. A pinhole goes in the back of his helmet, and all of a sudden the head just starts wobbling free, and he just peels off the rungs of the ladder and just hits to death. And you just see from the impact, plus the hole going through his helmet, the inside of his helmet just becomes a fountain of red.
Nice. Love it.
So from what you said to me, there's only Astromechs left in the engine compartment.
Uh-huh.
So just because there is a possibility of ships still exploding, I'd say we tell most of the engineers to get to the ships and pilot them as best as they can, while me, you, and maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 of the select engineers try to go and stop the Astromechs.
Yeah.
And most of the engineers are like, the ones who can fly to ships. We don't know how to fly. We're grease monkeys.
I don't know, don't most of these ships have some sort of built-in sort of...
That's what an Astromech's for. So the Astromech's your pilot.
These engineers can fight, right?
Oh yeah, they've got tools and they're ready to beat somebody with tools.
Maybe it's good to have a little bunch, that way if there's a lot of damage to the engine, we can get it fixed fast.
Yep.
So
Okay.
Let's make it to the Astromechs and kick their butts and then finish fixing the ship.
Okay, folks, the engineers have caught up with you guys in the ramshack combination of vehicles. They're running down the corridors to catch up with you, and they're like, to engineering! As they're like bypassing you guys. They're like, yeah, we need to get to engineering. We're engineers. As you guys get to engineering just in time to see the engineers like dogpile through the hatch. And they are just mauling these Astromechs. I mean, the Astromechs pulling out fusion cutters and burning a few guys. Another one's got the electroprobe. He's electroprobing some guys. But they are beating the shit out of them.
Mm-hmm.
So give me a warfare roll.
Warfare?
Me or her?
Her.
Where?
Whichever one of you has warfare.
I
It's
do.
in the knowledge.
I do.
No.
Okay, that explains the tactics you've been throwing out. It's going to be against 1 purple.
So let me see, let me just double check my warfare roll. I got
Wait,
that.
oh, I have it too.
1 purple.
Wait, what's your warfare?
It's a yellow and a green.
I have a yellow and 2.
Oh, so yours is actually better.
Found it.
Okay.
I found it.
So I basically will say you guys are working together, and whoever wants to roll the better of the 2 rolls, I'd say roll the better of the 2 rolls. Because this
So
is your
we're rolling
tactics.
together.
Yep.
Okay, just these
Oh, are we
2.
rolling?
Yep, it's
we're
going to
rolling-
be against 1 purple.
So we're rolling together then?
Sure, because they'll give me more threats if you roll bad. And by the way, both of you upgrade your rolls to reds.
That won't hurt me. It'll hurt you though.
hurt
Watch
me.
you get a despair. He's saying that you'll get the despair, not
Oh,
him.
got it. Okay.
I got 2 successes.
I got. Oh, wait.
It's a success and 2 advantages. So needless to say, you guys, while you're driving the rest of the way to engineering from where you stopped, you're shooting out orders over the comms, because you guys are a bunch of tactical badasses. And you're rousing the crew to retake the ship beautifully. It's only like 20% loss of life. That's not bad.
Not bad at all.
It's not bad at all. Yeah, and that was mostly the life pods being blown up in space, but that was the captain's orders. He didn't realize that they would crack the gun code so quick.
Right.
Mainly because, they beat up the ensign, and the ensign gave those codes up because that was his station. And you guys have retaken the ship.
Yay!
See, the bell is the sound of the ship being retaken, and only droids on the command bridge, because it's still spaced.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes me and you are responsible for piloting it to the rebel base.
I have piloting, so.
Oh, good, because I don't. I think. Let me check my memory banks.
I got the piloting.
Okay.
I got decent piloting. I got
So
3
where exactly are you guys going to take the ship? Straight back to the rebel base, or somewhere else?
I don't know. Since you knew the captain so well, and since I'm assuming you have access to his files, Is there a secondary staging point in the event that they put a tracking device on the ship?
Let me
Give
check my
me a
memory.
warfare roll against 2 purple.
So it's these and these two.
Uh-huh. Go for it. I'm not touching it. You're touching that light side point. You can use it.
It's worth it.
Go for it.
Down here, yellow. This is a base.
Yeah. Because you're kind of concerned of what if they low-jack the ship already or whatnot.
Well, looks like you succeeded.
That purple and that yellow take each other out. You have...
2 success and 1.
So immediately you look your warfare database and you know that there's a beta site that you guys would go to basically rest your heals to see if you're being followed before you go to the base.
Okay.
So you punch in the coordinates because with that warfare roll you remembered where it was, and you slide the button on the console. The ship takes off to the beta spot where apparently there'd be a pair of wide wings waiting to watch you and confirm that are you guys okay? What happened? You know.
Our ships are wrecking, so are we.
Go to coordinates C457. We'll meet you there with the repair ship because you're the rebels. You can't afford to lose things like this ship.
No.
The losses of this ship would be like monumentally horrible for the rebels.
Yes.
So you guys follow the 2 Y-wings. They feed you the coordinates, and you guys as a group fly off to the next spot, the Charlie site, where you can wait for the repair ships to come help you out.
Yay.
And you get word that all the lifeboats have been picked up that launch themselves from the ship, except for the ones that were moment of silence. On the command deck, you pull up the information. It's your captain's last will and testament. He wants to give you your freedom.
Yeah.
As his last act, he wanted to give his tactical protocol droid their freedom
Do I get
and
mentioned?
hoped, no, and a hope that with your newfound freedom, you choose to stay with the rebels.
Yeah.
And hopefully be an officer in the rebel command.
Yeah.
Wow, you'll be the highest ranking droid in history.
And literally at that point, you get the da 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 da. It's just like Wookiees, there's no medals for droids.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? Weld it on you?
They could. I'm just saying.
And that is the wrap up of the story.
Yeah, we did it.
I wonder how many people go through this and actually keep the ship intact.
Well, this is the first time I've run this one shot. I wrote this just for
Good thing
today.
it was a success.
Yeah, we actually did pretty good considering we were almost. Strangely enough, we killed the boss without actually fighting him.
Yeah.
We killed all these other people, yet the thing that almost brings this whole thing down was 2 stormtroopers. That was the hardest part of the whole
Two
thing.
stormtroopers, 2 guys in an elevator.
That was the hardest part of the whole mission. That was all the excitement. It rolled into one.
It's like Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Yes. It's kind of funny. It's like all the big fighting's taking place in this little elevator. There's one section kind of like out of Godzilla where you look out and there's all these enemies. Then the elevator closes and we're back to fighting the 2 again.
And back the 2 guys in the lift.
We managed to kill one of them. We vented the other into space. That was cool.
Did you have fun?
I
Oh,
have
yes, I had loads of fun.
Considering this is the first time that I've done.
I'm tempted to ask you to let me keep this character to use in every
Dude,
Star Wars game.
go for it. I made them so you can keep them. If you want, I'm also going to post the PDFs of the adventure and the game. You can keep him.
I like that.
Yeah, that'd be a funny story if I ever join one of your campaigns again, or if I join any one of them and they ask the background of my droid. I say I was activated while I was on a frigate. Apparently I'd been taken over by stormtroopers, and I had to fight my way through it. I also had the help of a protocol droid.
And like I said, I'll post the PDF of all the characters and the adventure and stuff as it should be ran for a full group. That's like 3 times the length.
Yeah.
But you couldn't do it in a time slot of a 1-day one-shot.
No.
It's more like a 3-shot type of thing.
Yeah, I thought the big fight was going to be against the actual boss if we actually ran into him.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, no.
But we,
Good.
but we managed to luckily blow out the window, which killed off
It
a large
works.
chunk of the enemies. In fact, I think throughout most of this, we actually, in comparison to how many people we actually killed,
Yeah.
we killed very few of them by hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of them we killed just by bending them into space.
Yes, you can keep the character sheet.
No.
I was going to say, do you want the link? I got the link if you want for pulling up the PDF later.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Creative Play and Podcast Network. And feel free to enjoy our other shows, such as D&D Journey of the 5th Edition and Scion Ragnarok and Roll, a Scion hero to Ragnarok story. Thank you for listening.